Okay, let's dive in. Imagine this. You hear about hundreds of human remains just found outside a house.
Yeah.
That actually happened. Noida, 2006. It kicked off, well, one of India's most horrifying true crime cases, the Nithari killings.
It's a deeply disturbing story, and we're going to unpack some of the key elements based on the sources we've looked at.
Right. So where do we even start? I guess with the discovery itself.
Exactly. The sheer number of remains found, mostly children, I mean, that volume alone just points to something happening repeatedly, undetected for who knows how long.
Which straight away makes you ask questions about, how that could even happen. Oversight, right?
Big questions.
Yeah.
And the focus pretty quickly landed on Surinder Koli.
The domestic help living there, he became the main suspect.
Yes. But then there's the owner of the house, Moninder Singh Pandher. His involvement, or what he knew, that became this huge, unsettling part of the whole picture.
That dynamic is so central, isn't it? Koli and Pandher, were they working together? Was Koli acting alone? Maybe Pandher just knew or was oblivious?
Our sources really highlight how complex that relationship was. And, proving Pandher's direct link legally to every single act attributed to Koli, that was incredibly challenging in court.
Yeah, I can imagine. And beyond the murders themselves, which are horrific enough, there were these even darker whispers, allegations of cannibalism.
Right. That element definitely took the public horror to another level. Though it's important to note the details there are murky.
Based mostly on confessions, interpretations of the evidence, not necessarily concrete forensic proof across the board.
Exactly. The sources suggest it was strongly suspected, based on Koli's statements and some findings, but nailing down definitive proof was difficult. Forensic science faces huge hurdles with decomposition, potential contamination.
And the risk of misinterpreting things, too, I suppose.
For sure. Which brings us to another really troubling layer, the police response. Or maybe the lack of response initially.
Ah, yes, the alleged negligence. Reports suggesting that when people first started reporting their children missing, these complaints weren't taken seriously.
That's a critical point the sources bring up. A potential systemic failure, especially concerning kids from poor, more marginalized backgrounds. It seemed like their disappearances just didn't trigger the alarm bells they should have.
Which could mean the killings were allowed to continue for much longer than they might have otherwise.
Precisely. And that aspect sparked huge public anger and eventually calls for significant police reforms. It raised fundamental questions about whose lives are prioritized.
So just to kind of pull the main threads together for a moment, we have this absolutely shocking discovery. Dozens of victims.
Yeah. Then Surinder Koli, the main perpetrator according to his confessions, and the evidence tied directly to him.
But always that lingering question about Moninder Singh Pandher and exactly what his role was, legally speaking, which remained contentious.
Add to that the cannibalism allegations, chilling, even if not fully proven forensically in all aspects.
And finally, these really serious accusations about the initial police handling or mishandling of the missing persons reports.
Right. Potential apathy, systemic flaws, whatever the cause, it seemed to contribute to the tragedy unfolding unchecked for a time.
Looking back at the Nithari case through these sources, it's just layers of horror, isn't it? Not just the acts themselves, but questions about society, accountability, how we protect the vulnerable.
Absolutely. It forces you to confront these really uncomfortable realities.
It's a case that I think still haunts India, understandably so.
Indeed. It leaves you thinking about those systemic weaknesses, the cracks people can fall through, and just how vital it is that law enforcement takes every single missing person report seriously, values every life equally. That's maybe the most crucial takeaway.